Wow, Sina.
Another day, another dollar. I'm saving just to be broke. They say college was serious, but my degree feel like a joke. 4 years or less, I'm sane. I got it done, no playing, just to end up at my mom's after I told her I wasn't staying. Well, here we are. No question, I'm a star. Just got some light years to travel, but it's just so far. But I'ma make it though. Make sure you get your focus right. You coming too? It's about to be one hell of a ride. Yeah, this adulting stuff is crazy. They ain't warn us about this. I'm supposed to live my best life on an unpaid internship. How I'm supposed to find my husband? Everybody running game. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. Went from worrying about on flow to running from Uncle Sam. Now I understand why student accounts never gave a damn. Saving accounts be slipping, trying to work out, but I'm tripping. I forgot health insurance. Oh, I'm my mom's until I'm 26, so I gotta pay these student loans. That's adulting. But the score doing the most. That's adulting. Moving out of mom's house. That's adulting. But it's all gonna work out. That's adulting. I need a legal side hustle. That's adulting. Cause these bills got me in trouble. That's adulting. Journey's course is never planned. That's adulting. Just leave it in God's hands. Cause that's adulting.
Hey friends, welcome back to another fabulous episode of the School of Life podcast. Wow, did y'all miss your girl? I know it's been 2 weeks and I'm sorry, y'all can crucify me later, but I missed y'all. So I hope y'all missed me as much as I missed y'all. It has been 2 weeks too long and I am feeling it. I'm like, you know what? I got to get my life together. And here we are. Today, I got it together just for y'all. Honey, listen, I had so much going on these last 2 weeks. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And when I say work has picked up, listen, that thing has picked all the way up. And then my personal life, just so much going on. But I'm so grateful. I'm enjoying the new job. I'm getting adjusted to the city. I'm enjoying my coworkers, all of that. Like, we'll get into all of that. But just trust me when I say my life got crazy for a quick second. But what have y'all been up to? I hope your lives are intact and you are well, honey. And if you're not, it's okay. Everything may be falling apart around you. But just know that if you keep some God in you, it will be okay. I hope that you're able to just pick it up and get it together, because that's what we have to do with this adult thing, honey. Get it together. Pick it up and get it together no matter what's going on around us. So whatever the case, just know I am praying for you all. I love y'all, and I'm just happy to be back for another episode of this podcast. So aside from finally getting this episode out to y'all and being really happy to do so all late and wrong, I know, I'm really excited to be continuing our financial literacy series. And if you're just joining the School of Life gang, honey, you are late to the party as well. But you need to go back and listen to the first installments of this series. Actually, if you're a new listener, I'm all tongue-tied. If you're a new listener, just start from the beginning. Like, you got to catch up, sis or bro. Get it together, catch up. But so far, we are in our third installment of this series, and we've talked about understanding our relationship with money. We talked about having a great budget and getting our budgeting lives together. And today, I'm getting all up in your business, and we're talking about saving the coins. Okay, I know everybody's big on saving, but some of us may not know how, or some of y'all, it's okay. We're going to get some tips together. Anyhow, before we hop into the show though, y'all know I have to knock out our class announcements. Don't forget that you can enter into the Live Richer Academy giveaway. I think originally I said like the end of September, but y'all, we late and wrong. So I'll extend it until October let me pull up my calendar. I'll extend it until October the 21st. How about that? Let's do that. So anyhow, if you don't know what the Live Richer Academy is, you can do a quick Google search, or you can just go back and listen to the first Finances 101 episode. To be considered for the giveaway, all you need to do is follow me and the podcast on IG and Twitter at _Miss J, MISSJAYE, and School of Life Pod. And then after you follow both of those pages, shoot me a quick email with a short explanation detailing why you should be the winner of the 2-month free trial. And I'll be taking submissions again until October 21st and announcing the winner during the October 28th episode. So, yeah, get on that if you want those 2 free months to the Live Richer Academy. And our last announcement, don't forget that I'm providing free business promo during the show and tell segment for all of my entrepreneurs out there. And just so y'all know, an entrepreneur can be a blogger, an author, a lemonade seller. Listen, I don't discriminate. If you got your own business and you're doing your own thing, you're an entrepreneur in my eyes. So just email me at schooloflifepod@gmail.com, or you can slide in my DMs and we can talk about the details. Y'all know by now, I love supporting people, and this is how I'm doing that on my platform. There's also a post on my Instagram and the podcast Instagram that you can share with your friends who have businesses. You can tag people, screenshot it, repost it, whatever you like to do with it, it's there. Can y'all believe that wraps up my class announcements? I only had two. Look, I told y'all we're going to get better at these things, so they are not long. So, what's going on in my life and what has life taught me these past 2 weeks? Child, child, child. How much time y'all have? We may need to pour a glass of wine. These past 2 weeks have been pretty interesting to say the least. In the midst of work picking up at full speed, like I really wish I could explain everything that has happened at work, but it has picked up full speed in a pretty good way. I've been having events after work, trying to find a church home, having some things happen in my personal life, going through some changes there, and really just trying to stay rooted. Did I mention trying to find a church? Yes, that's the hard part as well. So, yeah, it's a lot going on with my life right now, but your girl is pushing through. Y'all know me. I'm going to always do my best to push through. So, in the midst of all of that, I'm just trucking along. Also, I decided I won't be moving out just yet. And that's a whole nother story. So, super long story short, honey, it's hard to live here. And they wanted $1,300 for this apartment. And I was like, no, ma'am, no, sir, not my hard earned coins. I will stay right here in my godparents' house, and I'll figure out my next move. So I was honestly really, really hyped to move back out into this crazy adult world. But just 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? It was last week. I just said I'm going to stay put right here with my godparents and keep stacking my coins comfortably. Yeah, I was already salty that I was still paying bills in Huntsville all this time, but it's okay. I made it. I'm done paying bills there. So yeah, last weekend, and depending on when you listen to this, so the weekend that was September 27th, I actually went back to Huntsville for my final move, and I packed all my stuff into the U-Haul and drove it here and got a storage. So that's what's going on with that. So I'll be here, okay? I'll be here. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a house next year. But stay tuned if you're still rocking with your girl next year. Just stay tuned. But shout out to my village, really. I know a lot of people are not fortunate to have the type of support that I have. And if you don't, just know I'm supporting you. I got your back, girl, or bro, whatever the case. But I have a really, really amazing support system that has always just been the family I never knew I needed. So shout out to them. I love them. I literally have no idea what I would do or where I would be without them. That's really all that's up with me. Working hard, moving, looking for a church home, and keeping my life in some kind of tact. I would say with all of that, this week, well, really these past 2 weeks, my teachable moment would have to be that God is a very strategic God. Point blank, period. Okay? Without going into all the details, because I don't want to bore y'all with my life's details, but I went through a little situation last week, and I thought for a very split second that that situation might break me. But baby, listen, when God wants your attention and when you don't want to listen, he has no choice but to start putting a strategy into place. And that's exactly what he did. I don't know about y'all, but I be ignoring God sometimes when he tells me things that I don't want to hear. I be like, oh no, that must be an instruction for somebody else, not for Jacqueline Washington. But child, look, I know all along that he be talking right to me, no matter how much I try to ignore it. So, yes, he's strategic. He got real strategic in my life. So, if you hearing from God and it's something you don't want to do or don't want to hear, baby, just be obedient the first time because you don't want the consequences that come with it. And even if your challenge isn't listening and obeying but waiting, just know he's strategic with that as well. Like all around, he's a very strategic guy. So don't give up. Don't give in to your plan. His plan will always come to pass, and it may hurt, it may cause some pain, but baby, that thing will be glorious on the other side. So let me tell y'all, even if none of y'all needed to hear that, I know I did. I get amnesia and claim I forget sometimes that the Lord told me to do something and I don't do it. So just pray for me. I'm getting better. I be listening most times. That's my teachable moment. God is a very strategic God. So no matter what you're going through or might be afraid to step into, just know, honey, his strategy and his game plan is on levels you cannot imagine. All right, so it's now time to get out your notebooks because School of Life is officially in session, okay? We're hopping right into our lesson today on saving. So, like I told y'all before, like a few episodes ago, finances were not a thing that we talked about in my household growing up. And saving, baby, please. I barely had anything to save, first of all. But now that I know better, best believe I do better, and you should too. We're not little kids no more, y'all. We are young adults. And if you're a friend in my School of Life gang, we're not using our childhood as an excuse anymore. And I want to be clear about one quick thing. An excuse is different from an explanation. So, my upbringing explains why I had poor savings habits once upon a time, but I'm grown now and I know better. So if I continue to have poor saving habits, I now am making an excuse. Does that make sense? I hope that came out the way I saw it in my mind. But anyways, we're grown. No more excuses. Like it's time to cut all of that out. It's time to get our coins together because we have big girl and big boy decisions to make financially, and you can't make those decisions if you don't have a coin in the bank account. Listen, saving is important because you literally never know what can happen. For example, last year I got a job offer in Huntsville, Alabama. At the time that I got the job offer, I was living in Delaware. And anyone who knows what a map looks like, Alabama is in the south, Delaware is in the northeast. I could not pack my little car up and drive my little self back to Alabama with all the stuff I had. I had a whole townhouse full of stuff. So, long story short, I had to hire movers and all of that craziness. But because I had a pretty decent amount of savings set aside for emergency or rainy day, I was comfortably able to make that decision to hire movers and all of that craziness from move all of the craziness that came with moving from Delaware to Alabama. Now don't get me wrong, it was a lot of money and I was sad to see it go, but I was very fortunate to say, you know what? I've saved this money. I have this money. This is an emergency. I have to move. And so let me use this money that I have. I don't have to get a loan. I don't have to ask people. Now I did get help, which was great, but it just felt good knowing that I could do that on my own. And then let's not forget about apartment deposits and the millions of things that come with that. Like I had to go grocery shopping and get a whole new everything from seasoning salt to some grapes. Like just had to get everything. It wasn't just a regular grocery run. So the whole move in total cost me almost $2,000. But I was happy that I had that to put out to move, and that's literally just one example. There are plenty more things that have come up in my life that I can recall that I know had I not had some savings, I would have been SOL, surely out of luck. I know y'all thought I was gonna say something else, but no, really. I know that a lot of people feel like, well, Jay, I don't even make enough to save. And I get it. Like, if you pay your bills and you have $20 left and you can't save and you got to get gas to make it for the 2 weeks, honey, I get it. I was there once upon a time. But best believe that won't be your testimony forever. And when you come out on the other side and you make more money and you are able to save, I want you to at least have the tools and the resources to know, okay, now that I got more money and I can save, where do I start? So I know there is so much information out there on savings and how you should save and what you should save, and people have all their philosophies and all of that, which is great. But listen, don't feel overwhelmed. Just pick something and go with it. I'm sharing today the things that have worked for little old me when it came to my savings. So I have 5 tips or steps, however you want to look at it, to get your savings on track. So we already have our relationship with money together from the first episode of this series, or at least you're working on it. You should be. You have your budget together, which I hope you've written your budget as well. And so now it's time to save. First of all, you have to budget for savings. Once you have an idea of what you spend every month and you begin to organize your budget and write it all out and all of that, you have to actually put a column on there that says savings, and then you put an amount. You can't just say, oh, I have $300 left after I pay all my bills. I'm going to just save 100 this time around because I got 300 left. Now, if that works for you, I mean, I'm not judging you, sis, but that does not work for me. I have to actually write it out in my budget so that I can see, no matter, basically, so I can see that this amount is going into savings before I allocate what my spending money is, or entertainment money or shopping money is for that week, if that makes sense. So when I do my monthly budget, literally I have a column that says savings, and then I put the amount. And then my last column, I name it other, which I probably shouldn't. I need to do better at that. But my other is spending, going shopping, anything that is just random that I may do throughout the month that is not normal. So like I even have a column for nails and toes because that's a normal thing. So again, you have to budget for savings so that you stay on track with your spending. I know some people aim to save at least 10 to 15% of their income. When I first started making a salary, I couldn't afford to save that because I just couldn't. So I saved what I could, but I made sure that it was a consistent amount every time I got paid. Even if it was $20, like I saved $20. It was times I saved $5. Like that's how serious you have to be about saving. But you just have to really budget it in and basically like forecast what your expenses are so that you can see, okay, this month I will be saving $500. Next month I will be saving $300. Boom, look at that. In 2 months, you saved $800. So that would be step number one. Budget for your savings. The second thing I would recommend is find ways you can cut your spending. And I know y'all probably remember a couple episodes ago, I talked about how I had my Apple Music. I did away with that. I did away with my Amazon Prime. Actually, I'm missing Apple Music now, so I may have to revisit that. That's counterintuitive to this point. But however, y'all can find ways to cut your spending, and I'll find some new ways myself. But if your spending is too high, just look at your budget and figure out, okay, what am I spending too much on that I can control? Maybe you want to cut your cable and just stick to Netflix. Like those are decisions you have to make. Maybe you have subscriptions to stuff like Netflix and Hulu, and you have cable, and you say, hey, I want to cancel the subscriptions and stick to cable. Maybe you eating out too much. I know I eat out a lot, and that's why I'm a little piggy now, but it's okay. I'm gonna lose the pigginess. But I knew I was eating out way too much, and I said, you know what, I have to cut this. Like I have to discipline myself, and I did just that. Like eating out had to go. So again, just find ways or find places in your budget where you absolutely know you can cut your spending. Rent, that's going to be rent if you pay rent. Car note, that's going to be your car note. I mean, I have my own personal opinion about refinancing and all of that, and that's not important to this conversation. But things that you can control that aren't your living expenses, try to cut, especially that eating out and shopping. I don't know if anybody else has a problem. I have a problem. If anyone knows of a shopping addiction group, send it my way. Send it to my DMs. I need to join because I literally have a problem. But I had to cut that too, especially when I was moving, and even this recent move, I had budgeted for it after I got the job offer, and I knew how much it would cost, and just everything that goes into moving. I had to cut my shopping back. I was not getting Amazon packages every week like I once was. So that's number two. Find ways to cut your spending. Number three, like I said, this works for me. Set savings goals. One of the absolute best ways to save money is to set a goal. One of the best ways to do anything in life is to set a goal. Start thinking of what you might want to save for. Maybe it's a house. Maybe it's getting married. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe you just want to save just because. But set a goal and stick to that goal, and then figure out how much money you need to save and how long it would take you to get to that goal. So, for instance, aside from my regular savings that I just have for emergency and rainy day, I know I'm saving to buy a home. I've already been pre approved, and I know how much the lender would give me and all of that number stuff. So I had to say, okay, well, if I save this amount of money, well, I need this amount of money to put down on the house. That means I need to save this amount of money every month for, let's say, 5 months. That's how you set your savings goal, so that you're just not every month saying, oh, well, maybe I need $1,000 saved. Maybe I need 200. Like, no, put it on paper and set the goal so that you can clearly see it, and you can put steps in place to achieve the goal. So maybe you have a short-term goal, which is between 1 and 3 years. You want to have an emergency fund. You may want to save for a vacation. You may want to save for a down payment on a house or a car. But just put that down on paper and know what you're saving to. Or maybe you have a long-term goal. You want to save for retirement, which I hope you all are doing that if you can. Or maybe you have kids and you want to save towards your child's education. Whatever the goal is, set the goal, write the goal down, and make sure you have steps in place to achieve that goal. The fourth step or tip I would say is make your savings automatic. So I think I touched on this in one of the previous episodes, but long story short, I made my savings automatic by setting it up with my job where they automatically deposit a certain amount into a separate account that I do not have a debit card for. That is my emergency saving savings accounts. That way I don't have to trust myself to go in every paycheck and transfer money or take it out and take it to another bank. Like, y'all know how you do. You transfer it to the savings. You in the store and you like, ooh, I like those shoes. You transfer it right back. That defeats the purpose of saving it. So automate your savings so that it's like basically out of sight, out of mind. And you can choose when you want to do it. Maybe you want to have it automated once a month. You can do that. Maybe you want to have it automated every week. Whatever it is, automate it and watch how much your savings grow. I promise y'all, when I stopped doing that whole transfer thing, I was a better saver just off the bat, because listen, I was transferring like it was nobody's business. And then my issue was, I'm like, oh well, I'm getting paid again. I could just transfer right back. Or I'm liking how this savings look. I got enough to just transfer $500 real quick. But no, that 500 eventually became 600, and it became 700, and before you know it, I've taken $1,000 out of my savings, and I'm looking around like, where my money at? Right. So don't be like me in that regard. I've gotten better though. I've gotten a lot better when I opened up another bank account, didn't get a debit card for it, and that was my sole savings account. And then I also, like I said, made the savings automatic with that. And then my last step is to just simply watch your savings grow. Every few months, I review my budget like in super detail to make sure I'm not overspending on anything. Like, there was a time where I stopped getting my nails and toes done because I'm like, this is too much. Like, no, y'all are robbing me. Ladies, y'all know it's expensive to be a lady. You gotta get your nails and toes done, you got your wax, you may want to get your eyelashes. It's a lot. I'm getting stressed thinking about it. But when I started watching my savings grow, I got so comfortable and so happy seeing how much it could grow. I wanted to review my budget and make sure I was saving as much as I could. So there were months I stopped getting my nails and toes done. Now I don't get my eyelashes done, so I don't have to worry about that. But honey, I had my press ons and I kept it pushing. When you take a minute to just check your progress based on all of the steps you may implement in your financial life, I guess. Um, when you check the progress, you become more proud of yourself because you actually see the progress. And it's also a way to hold you accountable. Like, you can't just say you're going to save and not hold yourself accountable, because then you're not saving. And then I have to come get in your business and say, look, friend, get it together. Like, you need to save. But not only will checking your progress help you stick to your savings plans, it'll also help you identify and fix those problems quickly. For instance, me getting my nails done, that was a problem. Once I checked my progress, I'm like, I'm doing great, but I could be doing better. What can I cut? Nails and toes, boom, done. Paint my own nails, paint my own toes. And then also, understanding how to save money will even help you, or not help you, but inspire you to find more ways to save more and hit your goals faster. So maybe when you see how much you're saving, you're like, oh, I think I want to get a part time job real quick so I can save even more towards my goal. All of that is a part of seeing that progress and seeing your savings grow. I'm telling you, once you start seeing it, it's almost like you get addicted to seeing your money just save itself. And well, it doesn't save itself, that doesn't make sense, but you get addicted to seeing your money grow and seeing how much your savings is working for you. And when you're ready to buy that house or go on vacation, it feels amazing because you know you're saved. So that was not super long. Those are my 5 tips to saving, that I felt, would be good to share with you all because they worked for me. I've done these steps in this order. Again, that's budgeting for saving, finding ways to cut your spending, set savings goals, make savings automatic, and watching your savings grow. So that wraps up today's installment of our financial literacy series. That was actually way quicker than I thought. But as always, I hope you learned something new and that you can apply any one of these tips to your own savings. Maybe you're already doing 2 of the 3, or maybe you say, you know what, Jay, I'm going to just start with setting a savings goal. Look, I'm proud of you for doing that. You have to start somewhere, like literally just start. Don't be talking about it. Be about it. So, y'all know it's not School of Life without a few resources and homework. So, here you go. Your homework for this week is to simply apply one of the savings tips that we talked about today to your own personal life. Maybe you need to set your savings goals, or you have a budget and you need to find a way to cut your spending by reviewing your budget. Or maybe you don't have a budget and you need to write your budget and budget for savings. Or you probably got a budget and you never thought to add a savings column. Listen, out of the 5 things, there is something you can take to just hold yourself accountable and double check to be sure your finances are intact. So that's what I want you all to do this week. And I'm going to also do it myself because every now and again I need to just check on my coins to make sure all is well. Like I said, the first step really is starting. So start today. Pull out your notebook and do something right now. We are not ending 2019 with $10 in our savings account. Now, if that's the best you can do, I'm not knocking you. I'm proud of you. But some of y'all know you need to be saving more and you're not. So let's do better. Like, it's time to level up. 2020 is our year. Well, 2019 it was our year too. I don't know about y'all, but every year is our year. But we are really just creating better financial habits and setting ourselves up for just a better life all around. So let's save them coins and get it together. Like I said, there are countless resources, documents, and books out there that you can read. And hey, I encourage you to read whatever you think will be beneficial to your life. But I will say, what I am recommending today is the Budgetistas. Y'all know I love her. Like, this whole series was inspired by her. But I'm recommending as a resource her free webinar called Budgeting for Abundance. And I will tag it in the show notes if you want to get more information, if you want to do a deeper dive into budgeting and saving. I think you will find it extremely helpful to your life if you're just ready to make better financial decisions and just really get it together. So I'll tag that in the show notes because I think it's a great resource for anyone to have, listen to, take notes from, or whatever the case. Y'all know I'm not a good friend if I don't give y'all some type of resource to get you started. And so that's exactly what your homework is for and why I provide resources. Let's get our savings together and be on our way to being more financially literate. Let's hop into our show and tell segment.
Ooh. Ah.
This week we are featuring Supreme Life Blog. Supreme Life Blog is written by Jasmine Reed and it is located online because it is a blog. And when I asked Jasmine why she started her blog and really what it's about, she shared that her blog was birthed out of a desire for a creative outlet and passion for writing. She created the blog to serve as a resource where she shares her life lessons with like minded young women who are striving to be the best versions of themselves every day. She blogs about post grad life, career advice, makeup, skincare products, mental health, and relationships of all kinds. And you can find her blog at supremelifeblog.com and you can follow her at supremelifeblog on Instagram. I am super proud of Jasmine. I read her blog and I follow her blog, and she is always just keeping it real, providing insight into, like she said, relationships, sharing about her relationship journey. She's actually engaged, and so I love seeing her pictures and just her sharing about what's coming up with the wedding and all of that fun stuff. And makeup, hair, when I was natural, and the naturalistas, y'all may still be crucifying me, but when I was natural, I got a lot of tips from her blog on styling my hair and just getting it manageable. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But all in all, I just love that her blog keeps it real and it just has an array of topics. It's not just solely focused on, let's say, skincare products. And that's not a knock to a blog that focuses on skincare products. But I'm busy. I'm on the go. If I'm going to read a blog, I like for it to hit on a couple of different things. And that's exactly what her blog does. So shout out to Jasmine. I've been knowing her since we were little girls in like Sunday school. We were maybe 5. I don't even remember how old we were. I just know we were little. Whatever the case, she's doing amazing things and just sharing her journey. And I am happy to feature her on the show because I just love supporting people. I'm not going to keep saying that. Y'all know I love supporting people. So y'all go support my good girlfriend, Jasmine. Read, comment, share the blog, show your love, and let her know Miss Jaye sent you. So for our Raise Your Hand segment, we have one question submitted today. This person wants to know, how do you forgive someone who you don't think is sorry? Whew. When I read this question, I had to take a minute because this person must just know my whole life. I have had to forgive multiple people who I don't think were sorry. And these were people who were close to me rather, biological family, parents, to be full transparency. I had to forgive my parents, and I don't know if they were sorry. They never said they were, but I had to forgive them. I would say you have to make up in your mind and you have to know in your heart really that you're forgiving them for you, no matter what they did. And I am not dismissing what they did. I have been through some crazy stuff and I've had to forgive people for it. And it doesn't dismiss what they did just because you forgive them, but you have to make up in your mind that because you love and trust God and He forgives us daily, and you want to walk like he walked and be like he is, you owe it to them to forgive them. And it's not for them, it's for you. Because when you harbor that and you have bitterness, you're not being godly. You're not walking in your full armor um, of Christ, and you can block your blessings when you don't do that, or when you don't do that, when you don't forgive. Forgiveness is so complex. I may do a whole episode on that, but to answer this question, I would say you have to make up in your mind and in your heart that you're forgiving them for you. And even on top of that, you can forgive them daily. You can forgive them multiple times. I used to think that I forgave, let's say my dad. I forgave my dad, and I would get mad about something, and then I'm like, well, I thought I forgave him. Why am I getting upset? But I learned that forgiveness is ongoing. And so, yeah, I may forgive him today, but in 6 months if I need to forgive him again, then I do that. Like, I don't just, in my mind and in my opinion, it's okay to have to do that. That's just me. I don't know about anybody else or what their advice may be, but to answer your question, how do you forgive someone who you don't think is sorry? You make up in your mind and in your heart that you are forgiving them for you and not for them. Forgiveness is not even about the other person. It's all about you. It's for you to be able to move forward and to receive all that God has for you, because think about it. He forgives us daily, and child, we've done some crazy stuff. So as you're going through life, just keep that in mind and just know that it's a continuous thing and it's all about you. Thank you for that question. That was a really, really great question. And I know I personally dealt with that. I don't know if other listeners have. If y'all have, I hope you got a little nugget or two that you can carry on. Don't forget, if you have any adulting questions or advice questions, you can send them to me via DM or shoot me an email at schooloflifepod@gmail.com. Don't be shy. I'm sure if you're thinking it or going through it, somebody else is as well. So before we get out of here, y'all know I have to leave y'all with some food for thought. And this week, I just want to leave you with, there is no test without a testimony. You have to go through some things for God to be able to use you. And I can shout and pass a collection plate around on that little word right there. Listen, y'all, it may be hard right now, but I'm telling you, the testimony will be grand, and you will be rewarded in ways you cannot imagine. If you are trusting God, you have to fully trust Him. And if you say you trust Him, you have to know that the good comes with the bad, because if He's going to use you, you have to go through some things. So keep y'all's heads up, keep smiling, and keep pushing. That wraps up another episode of the School of Life podcast. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. I love y'all, and I will talk to you next week.